Hello everyone. In this video we're going to look at a very important part of a journal article, and that is the abstract. And we're going to look at the abstract quite carefully. The good thing about an abstract is that it's a very short summary of the content of a journal article. In fact, most abstracts are one paragraph long. And this shows you what the authors think are the most important points of the article. And abstracts follow a particular structure. Usually they begin with an outline of the aims of the article. And in this case, this particular journal article is a research report, which means that the authors have conducted some research and are presenting the findings in the article. So the first sentence in this abstract is the aim of the research. We sought to determine who the public perceives as most contributing to the rise of obesity and to identify the determinants of such perceptions. So that's their aim. And the next sentence shows us their method, what they did to collect that information. A nationwide survey was conducted among 800 US individuals. Respondents were asked to place each of 7 entities: food manufacturers, grocery stores, restaurants, government policies, farmers, individuals, and parents into 3 categories: primarily, somewhat, and not to blame for the rise in obesity. So there is how the authors tried to answer their question and meet their aim. Next sentence shows us the main result of their research. 80% said individuals were primarily to blame for the rise in obesity. And the next sentence continues with the results. Parents were the next most blameworthy group, with 59% ascribing primary blame. And the next sentence, responses fell along 3 dimensions related to individual responsibility, agribusiness responsibility, and government farm policy. And the next 2 sentences go into more detail about the results. So this structure, aims, method, and results, shows the structure of the journal article as a whole. First, there is an introduction and background. The introduction and background will explain the aims of the research. Next, we have the methods, and then the results. Now, there's a lot of detailed information in the journal article itself. Some of this might be useful to you, but the best place to start is by reading the abstract quite carefully and seeing if there's anything there that is of interest to you and your essay topic. So, for example, if I am interested in the public's view of what causes obesity, then the most interesting thing in the abstract, for me, is that 80% think that individuals are primarily to blame for the rise in obesity. So what I can do is I can highlight this, so when I read the article again, I'll be reminded that this was an important point. So I'm going to go to comment. I'm using Adobe Acrobat Pro, which might be different to your program, but most programs do allow some form of note taking. And I'm going to click Add Note to Text. And there the text is highlighted, and I can write a note. So I can write And that's saved there, so when I put my mouse over the highlight, it shows me my note. And that'll help me remember the most important information in there. So I've got this figure of 80% think that individuals are to blame for obesity. And now I'm going to look in the results section to see if there's any more detail about that fact. So here is the results section, and there is 80% again. 80% said individuals were primarily to blame for the rise in obesity, and another 14% said individuals were somewhat to blame. So that adds a little bit more information. Of the people that responded to this survey, 80% thought that individuals were primarily to blame, and another 14% thought they were somewhat to blame. So I'm going to make a note of that as well. Okay, so the main thing to remember is that the abstract is a summary of the key points from the journal article, and you can use it to get an overview of what else is in the article. And if you find something that's interesting, you should highlight it and make a note to yourself, and then try to find more detail in the journal article itself. Thank you very much. Good luck with your academic work.